Really genuinely looking forward to it.
What type of player can the Rangers fans expect?
Yeah, I'd like to think I'm, in the bracket of like a flair, creative player that can make things happen from nothing, and and also when the team have got good possession, be the guy to unlock the door and create goals. So that's exactly what it is. I'm hoping to achieve there.
Sorry. I'll go to Adam.
In terms of the other offers that you had, I'm sure there were a few, obviously won't name names, etc. But was it a case of maybe that
Hi and welcome along to the Gers TV. My name is Si Leslie.
I'm Gordon Bond. How are we all doing? Hope we're all well.
Apologies for the time delay, guys. We were a wee bit late running there. There's an issue with the internet. I don't know what happened, but for some reason the internet's just decided to go about 1 mile an hour. So hopefully everything's alright now. Hopefully you can hear us alright.
Which is actually double his usual speed, so we're enjoying it.
It should be better now. I don't know what I was wrong with the video anyway, but great again to see us all, and we're here on behalf of our sponsor, Maxwell, at the heart of it, for all your petrol, diesel, Doug's just bit me, diesel goods,
Because he likes Maxwell so much, he
and
hears
all
it.
your products that you want
She
to buy
hears it.
from your news agents, whatever, Maxwell at the heart of it, for all your petrol needs in Northern Ireland, our sponsor. Thank you very much.
Yes, and also big shout out to the Sons of Struth, who do a fantastic job coaching and developing younger footballers in the next generation. If you haven't heard about them or you haven't checked them out, please go to their Facebook page and group and give them your support.
And we've also got Lewis doing the technical side on the left hand side here, so it'll be another long show. We'll hope to get the phone in as well for half an hour, and we're basically just going to talk about the last few games.
Yeah, so we'll recap the St Johnstone game. Not much to recap.
Another one, so
Another one, yeah. We'll talk about the new signing and the new signings that are apparently en route.
looking good,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we will look forward to the weekend game, our first home game in 3 years, I think.
Yeah, so if you can help us out by doing a wee share for us, please. Share away as much as you can. And also have a, we'll put up the link to our website now. We've got the website where you can actually watch us live on the website now. It's www.thegers.tv, and it is actually working on the website now, I believe. Last week there was a small issue with me basically not learning the website in time. Again, if anybody's interested in helping us on the channel, we're always looking for some help, technically or broadcasting or whatever you can get involved in, writing match reports and it for the website. Please get in touch. All help would be appreciated.
If you want to do anything with Gers TV, you want to get involved with the show, the website, please let us know as soon as you can, because we'd love to have you on board.
David Ainsworth, good evening guys, looking forward to tonight's show from Saltcoats. David, I'm down in Saltcoats in a couple of weeks time in February. The new, I think there's a Rangers bar, I don't know if it's Rangers bar, but it's definitely Rangers people, the Windy Haw, and I'll be doing a wee scan all on Soul Night, so maybe pop in and see us that night, mate.
It's called WATP 1690. Not sure if it's Rangers Bar or not.
What's that?
No mind. No mind. Okay,
no,
so.
The Windy Haw is different, I'm talking about.
No mind. That's a joke.
Alright, the Windy Haw's a pub that's just opened. So let's have a wee chat about the game, and obviously the weekend. What do you think of the match? This dog is going to drive me nuts, by the way.
It wasn't particularly exciting, it wasn't particular drama. Again, it was nice to actually take the lead for once, so it was nice to go into half time winning. And as I say, it was a great finish with Borna Barisic. I couldn't believe this when I heard this, but it's his first goal for about 2 years, which is a bit of a surprise given he takes a lot of free kicks, or used to anyway. Thought Sakala played alright, set up the goal with a good run and a good shot. Not much pressure. It's a bit of a strange game as well, given the atmosphere with the St Johnstone fans boycotting it. But a win's a win. We're through to the next round of the cup, and that's all that counts, really.
I know. Well, I mean, I think you need to take on board a few things as well, Gordon. Sometimes it's more important to get a few results when you're a new manager and to get on a good roll. But I think we have to consider the fact that the pitches that Rangers have played on as well have influenced the team selection. I think there's been some really embarrassing pitches, and you watched the game last night, and Darvel playing, you're looking in their park, and it was immaculate. So I think the conditions don't help the last few weeks, but the actual game, again, Rangers seem to do this thing that I've been speaking about for a while, where we wait till other teams come at us, and then we decide to play football. That said, it was as much as it's a disappointment watching. There's very few home fans, and you want a good atmosphere. The Rangers support, you just have to look at the last 3 games. The Rangers support coming from all over the country, outstanding, great atmosphere, and the actual goal itself, as much as it wasn't a great game, the goal itself was brilliant.
Oh, the goal was
And
fantastic.
it was very well worked. Sakala seems to be one of the button boys of the Rangers support. A lot of people don't like him for some reason. The guy, he's a breath of fresh air. He seems to be loving his football in Scotland. He seems to be loving it with Rangers, and he's on a roll just now, and he can only get better.
Yeah, he tries his heart out. He obviously enjoys it. He loves playing for Rangers. I think he reminds me of Nacho Novo in some regards, because I think that Nacho and Fashion, I think they're very what I would call instinctive players. where they get the ball, they touch it, they run past people, they take the shot. His goal the other week where Jack played it off and he dropped his shoulder and he half volleyed it in. That was pure instinct. Whereas when you see he's got a few seconds to stop and think, he kind of panics a little bit and blasts it over or gets tackled. But you can coach that. I mean, you can't really coach instinct, can you? You can't really coach that, but you can coach the technical side of things. So I think he's still young, and I think he's got a good future ahead of him. But slightly concerned for him that we're going to have about 3 or 4 wide right midfielders players soon. So he may end up getting pushed out, but who knows?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's something I'm going to touch on the midfield situation in a minute, because there's so many coming in. But I think the other parts of the game that pleased me, Gordon, was first of all, Alfredo Morelos. I know he's not scoring a lot of goals just now, but he's obviously changed his game a wee bit where he's becoming more of a team player. He had to, if you just watched the game at Hampden, he would have shot a few weeks ago. He would have shot under maybe Gio. He'd have took the shot, but he plays a lovely wee pass to Ryan Jack. Ryan Jack scores, so he's doing a lot more work off the ball. When you watch the opposition booing him and going and trying to taunt him like Kilmarnock and things like that, that shows you he's doing a good job. Even like the sending off, he'd wound that boy up so much last week. Anyway, so I think Morelos is coming back to the old Alfredo Morelos that we missed.
Yeah, and you can tell his I think that for the last few months we've been asking where his passion's gone, but he scored a couple of goals against Kilmarnock and his passion seems to be there. Whether or not that translates into...
He seems to be having a laugh on the park as well.
Whether that translates or not into the old Alfredo, and he signs a new contract, time will tell on that one. But, I've always thought Morelos is a good player, but he's not looked as if he's wanting to stay at Rangers. But you're right, Si, in the last few weeks he started to change opinions again, and I think Morelos will always do that. He will always be a kind of polarising player. That's
all credit to Michael Beale, I think, and his coaching staff, because there's a few players who we thought were going to lose. We might still lose them, but we thought we were going to lose them, and we thought they'd lost their heart, as you said, and their mind was at other places. However, they seem to be getting these guys more playing football again, and they seem to have won their love for Rangers again. So all credit to the manager for that. The other point I was going to make was, Gordon, that I noticed on at the weekend that something that we've spoke a lot about, Tavernier normally takes every set piece, and Borna Barisic took a lot of the corners, and the corners were much better because of it. Even when Tav did take the corners, they were better corners because it was changing. The defence wasn't the usual in-swinger that the keeper's waiting on. It was something different, and I think the set piece expert that we've got in, that is definitely going to help the team.
Absolutely. For months and months and months we were all getting frustrated about the lack of creativity when it came to the set pieces, and it used to be a case 15 years ago, whenever it was Barry Ferguson the captain, he used to take every free kick, every corner, every shy even as well. So it's definitely a case of it's my ball, I'm the captain, give us it. But I think you're right in what you're saying, that different people taking it varies it up a little bit as well, and I think Michael Beale's done a great job. Obviously, when he's come in, we've had a difficult run of games. Not only have we had loads of away games, but you're right what you're saying about the pitches. We've had 2 kind of synthetic pitches to play on. The weather conditions have been atrocious. The Hampden's been atrocious to play on
and
as well.
There's no excuse for a Hampden one. There's no many games playing there.
And you're absolutely right in what you're saying. I think we might talk about Darvel for a wee second shortly, but their pitch was in great condition, and they're worse than amateur. And it does, but you think to yourself, you look at Hampden, and this is a showpiece semi-final. We know eyes of the world upon it. Eyes of Britain anyway, probably eyes of Scotland on it.
Right, we were watching it.
And the pitch is horrible, and then Darvel is like.
It's not a good advert for the game.
It's strange.
Well, what's the point? I mean, here's an argument, right? What's the point of spending all this money on VAR, which I'm not a fan of, and technology and advertisements, and the games might have moved on when they can't get the park right. If they can't get the pitch right, they can't get the basics right. What's the point?
Look at St Johnstone. St Johnstone have alienated a lot of their fan base by basically trying to get as many Rangers fans to buy tickets as possible, and you get that. And hi Sandra, you get that with.
I'm looking at that. He's the Ben Isaac. Not to do that anymore.
From a financial point of view, you get that right, but if those St Johnstone Bombers aren't going to show up for the next 10 games, whatever, then they've lost their money again.
Yeah. Scottish football, it really is crazy just now, and 100% the old saying about it's all about the Rangers, because every game that Rangers play in the Rangers stands are full to capacity. It's hard to get tickets for the game, so it's good from your point of view, but the actual brand, I've got to say, it's pretty poor, as well as the refereeing standards and everything else that goes with it. But anyway, back to the game. There wasn't a lot of talking points in the match, obviously, but I think when you look at it, the Rangers are basically, they're playing cup games and you've got to win them, and right now winning these games is more important than the footballing side of it. However, we've got a lot of young guys in midfield that are coming in, guys like Lowry. We bought the boy Canto today. Hadji's coming back. Lawrence, I don't want to touch wood with Lawrence, right, because he could be a while, but there's a lot of skill about to emerge in the Rangers midfield. I think the only problem they've got is that the old Northern Soul song, it's getting mighty crowded. There's a lot of midfielders now, Gordon, what you touched on a minute ago. There's a lot of midfielders. Some of these guys are older players who have served the club well. However, it doesn't matter how well they've served us. I think we're in a position now where Michael Beale wants to bring his own type of player in, and he's going to bring his own type of player in, and a few guys are going to have to go. The first one was young Charlie McCann, which I think was the right decision.
Well, it's a strange one because he didn't really get a chance. The only kind of game that I remember, you got a couple of starts under Van Bronckhorst, but are you going to be judging a young guy like Charlie McCann playing in a team with Gio when we're struggling, when he was brought in for randomly for no reason?
No, I get that, but
I would have sent him out on loan, and
but he didn't want to go on loan. He wanted to play football. Well, he's asked, as far as I know, he's asked that he could get a transfer because he wants to play full team football and move his career on.
I think when you're with Rangers, I think if you have a sit down, you have a conversation with him. The manager obviously didn't really want him to stay. And if that is the case, and it's a mutual thing, and that's fine. I think, of course we do. I think the financial aspect of the deal seems to be okay as well. We've got a sell-on clause and a buyback clause as well. So obviously not the same extent financially wise, but when it comes to like the deal like Tillman with Bayern Munich and Rangers, it seems to kind of echo that a little bit, where they've got the buyback option. And I'm not saying it's financially on a par with that by all means, but it's a similar kind of set up there.
But we're also a business, so we have to look at the fact what you're saying there about financially it's got to be right for for all the clubs. For Rangers' point of view, we can't have too many players that are never going to get a game, and we can't be too short of players. You got to get the balance. But right now in midfield, how many midfielders have we got that you see as first team?
So let's go through.
So Stephen Davis,
he won't play again. No.
Right. So he's hopefully he proves us all wrong with that, because we'd love to see him play again. Just being realistic. Ryan Jack, this will probably be his last season.
No,
you think he'll get another season?
I think he'll sign a 2 year. See, the thing about Ryan Jack is he's just turned 31, I believe, so he's not that old. Professional footballers who play for Rangers that are 31 won't agree a 1 year contract, so the minimum he'll want is a 2 year contract. So, and
Scott Arfield just took one year.
But Scott Arfield's 4 or 5 years older than Ryan Jack, so I don't think that Ryan Jack will set up a 1 year contract, and I don't think he's poor enough to get him out of the team yet. So I think a fully fit Ryan Jack's a good attribute for the squad, so I would keep Jack.
Right, so Jack might stay. I'm 50-50 whether he'll stay or not. It's just more injury I'm worried about. Lawrence is a new player that's just come in. I think Lawrence will be there for the long term.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've noticed, and again this is just an observation, is Michael Beale looks as if he's going to be trying to buy players, and he's going to try and have a young midfield. I think he's going to have a 21 to 25 year old kind of age that the midfield's going to be. He's going to get rid of the older players, and it's going to be a wee bit more, shall I say, energetic. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah. Lundstrom,
I think he'll keep. That's his type of player. I think he'll base the midfield around him. The boy Cantle, he's Todd Cantle's a midfielder.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's an attacking midfielder.
So that's my opinion, is I think they're going to have to get rid of a few players, put them out on loan or whatever, and the older ones it's maybe just a time up. As far as Cantle, this guy Cantle has been in for him for a while. Although Michael Beale said he wasn't going to tell you who was well, and they were trailing him for a long time. So I think he's going to be a regular start as long as he plays well.
Yeah, I don't think you bring somebody that's out of contract for 5 months for $1 million or $1.25 million without wanting to start playing regularly. Start him regularly and get him firing on all cylinders. So I think he'll be a good addition to the squad. I think he'll be a good addition to the team. But when you factor in Hadji coming back with injury, when you factor in
Lawrence coming back,
when you factor in Tillman, you factor in Matondo. That's now 5 players that can and Sakala, 6 players, and perhaps
Lowry.
Roof and Lowry, 7 or 8 players. So we seem to be top heavy between the midfield and the attack.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to look to.
So you're talking maybe, don't know what back in your day, side would you call it, what, inside forward, inside right or something, inside left or something you'd call it, you know what I mean, you'd call it.
Well,
But back then you used to play a 1-9 formation or something.
Just get that.
Listen, the good old days when you could call
Aye.
people whatever you wanted, and
Used
call
to
your names back and kick people.
You used to play four keepers and goals and sits up the top of the strikers and no defence in midfield.
Do you know what? I was
Aye.
a much better days, trust me.
Still, every game still finished 0-0.
even the music was better.
Right.
But the other point is, Brian Newell's made a great point as well. Sands as well. Sands is another player. Obviously, he's only a loan deal, but Rangers
Arfield is another,
and Arfield.
in that mould that plays in that midfield to attack.
So
bracket.
there's almost 10 players in that position, in that area.
Yeah.
I think Brian's right with the Sands one. I think he's been unlucky, Sands, in a way, right? I'm not a big fan of him. I don't think he's a great player, but he's been a, what do they call this player again? A versatile player. Because of that, he's never really stuck to one position. And I wouldn't like to say he's really let us down, because there's been times where he's been awful. He's made a few mistakes, the Celtic game and everything else, but he's playing kind of out of position, and he's always been there. He's always tried his best. However, I just don't think he's good enough, and I don't think he's good enough value for the money. I think it's time for him to go. But an honest professional that's tried he's gave it his all for Rangers. It just didn't work out for him. Other than that, do you want to quickly read the comments on it as well, because people are reading the comments. We'll just go back to the start here.
Yeah.
Just a reminder to keep sharing for us, guys. We did start a wee bit late, but we're back in business now. Right, I just ran up a bit. Was the one above it? Oh, I know the Paul Bell, David, that's right. Brian's saying the best match recently was the Sheep getting pumped from Darvel, 100%. We'll speak about that in a couple of minutes. I think, even though it's a Rangers show, I think when a team like Darvel get a result, I think we should talk about it, but we'll go through the comments first.
Yeah.
Hopefully Rangers can win on Saturday, 100%.
Well, I think we will.
But we always hope they can win, you know.
Barisic's first goal from open play for the club. You see, I don't think it was as bad as that. Like his record, I
No,
obviously
that's a
he
good
scored
point.
penalties and free kicks, but I'm not don't doubt it for a second, but that's mad if that is the case.
Hello, Neil Reid from Toronto. Charlie McCann's now away to
Forest Green.
Forest Green.
Forest Green Mechanics or something it's called.
Forest Green Rovers.
Rovers, is it?
No, there is in Simon's defence. There is a team called Forest Mechanics.
Aye, up the north of
They
Scotland,
sometimes
that is it.
feature in the Scottish Cup or whatever.
Aye, so it's getting mixed
Aye,
up.
so
It's not a big club.
easy mistake to make.
Sadly, it's not really a big club for the boy.
Well,
That's what I feel bad.
these clubs down south in League 2 or the Conference, whatever, they're just as big as like some of the SPL clubs. It's like
Yeah.
these teams down south now. I mean, you're probably a team like Forest Green is probably the same size as Ross County or
Aye.
whatever. I mean,
Anyway,
almost.
good
if
luck
not.
to the boy.
Good luck to the boy. Aye.
You want to read this one? It's definitely
It was definitely a bad day when the Sheep can turn up the Davos when the pitch is brilliant. We think we touched upon that. I was we touched upon Hampden as well, David. So I was just catching up there.
true.
Kimberley Kane,
Kimberley.
a win's a win. Too many people moaning we have not lost a game. We're not moaning, but
No, actually, in general,
In general,
social
aye, so-
media has been a wee bit. The football's not been great, but look at the state. Not so much the state, but the Rangers were like playing great football under Gio at the end of his time here, and Michael Beale coming in can't buy the players till January, so he's basically got to play with what he's got. And the first thing he's got to do is get wins under his belt, and he's got to get his fighting again, and he's done that. So a win's a win.
breeds-
Keep it at it.
breeds confidence and wins breed confidence. Confidence breeds wins.
Sorry, I need to check. It's Glentoran. I keep getting updates from the only 4 home nations, but who are Glentoran playing? It's 1-0 they're winning, but
I think it's
2-0.
now. I now think it's now 2-0.
Aye, but who are they playing against? I don't get the other team. I believe Newcastle's playing as well tonight. Is it Southampton they're playing?
Yeah.
That's a big game because Newcastle haven't won.
Well, it's actually 5-0 now with Glentoran.
Oh well, that's who are they playing? But does anything know who they're playing?
I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that team name.
It's not Husenhassel, is it?
Like, anyway, I'm not a Glentoran fan, am I? I like Linfield and Larne, although they're two rival teams.
I can't find them on live.
I just like places I go to for the 12, to be fair. That's who I support. Coleraine as well. Anyway,
Try to.
Glentoran was 1-1, that was 5 now. How quick was that? Lowry was on the look class, we picked on that a minute, Brian. Sandra, good to see you. What's your show tonight, Sandra?
You're well.
I keep telling myself to look this way, but I'm looking that way.
Big game in the Scottish Cup today. Elgin City up in Drumchapel United.
Aye, well, these smaller teams seem to be getting better. That's
Aye.
one thing. Do you want to quickly talk about the Darvel game versus?
Yeah, we don't really
Aberdeen?
like talking about other clubs. However, obviously Aberdeen must obviously you have to feel a bit, sorry for Aberdeen because they've obviously had a few.
No.
They've all not. Let me finish. They've had 2 cup finals to play against Rangers in the last 4 or 5 weeks, and they put all their effort, all their passion, all their hopes, all their dreams into playing Rangers because they've got this small club syndrome. Because in 1982, 1983 they won a couple of cups, and ever since then they've been jealous of the old firm, Rangers in particular. So for some reason they seem to think that they're kind of level with Rangers, which is.
To be fair, and I'm not going to be fair to Aberdeen very often, the team they had in the 80s was a fantastic team. They were a really good team. But
and with a great manager as well.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Change days, Gordon, you're right with that. But this is a team who, you're right, the players, for some reason, some of them are not even Aberdeen fans, they all seem to hate Rangers and they all seem to use everything against us. So no sympathy whatsoever for them or their travelling fans when they're vile songs.
So
as far as Darvel was concerned, did you see any of the game?
I watched I watched the last kind of part of it because it was unreal that Darvel were winning, so I wanted to see if I could watch some history and that's the romance of the cup, where it's the FA Cup, the Scottish Cup.
It was a proper cup game. That's the first thing. Scottish Cup game, proper,
but
old style game of football. There was a couple of the decisions that they were complaining about. What I don't agree with, and I've said this before, I don't agree VAR in some games and VAR in other games no playing.
Right, but you're talking about Darnley, right? It's not
Darvel.
Darvel. You're talking about Darvel, right? Now, some of the teams in Scotland can't even afford a decent pitch.
So there should have been no. So what I'm saying, there should have been no VAR this round.
And we're saying, well, yeah, that's the side of the coin. Yeah,
yeah.
It's unfair to have it in some and not in the other. I don't think you can expect Darvel to have VAR installed.
You can't.
They're lucky to have goalposts.
So for that point, what I'm saying is, you shouldn't have VAR for the other games. That was what I was trying to say. Like he's like Drumchapel United and things like that. But anyway, on the game, just quickly talking about it, it was refreshing to watch it because it was the old style. I mean, this is equivalent to a junior team. I've seen comments today asking the question, is this the biggest upset in Scottish football? Without a doubt, it's the biggest upset. On Radio Snide tonight, they actually compared it with Rangers getting knocked out of the Scottish Cup with Hamilton in the 80s. So just because I never heard any comments on this because we were in the car and we put the radio down, just to clarify something, the Berwick Rangers one I can get, right? But see when Rangers played Hamilton and Hamilton knocked us out, I'm 99% sure Hamilton were a Premier League team. So how can that be compared to Aberdeen being knocked out by what's the equivalent of a junior team?
Sixth division.
Sixth
It
division.
would take them something like 8 years if they won every league. It would take them something like 8 years to get to the second or first division. Never mind coming up with the leagues. So without a doubt, in my opinion, it's the biggest upset in Scottish football.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, there's been some shocks, there's been some surprises, and but obviously Rangers losing to Bennett Rangers and Hamilton, Celtic losing the League Cup final away from us and penalties. There has been some shocks and there has been some surprises, but I think for the difference in golf between the clubs, I mean, even something like Bennett Rangers, you're talking, back in the was that the 60s or whatever, or?
It was the 60s, but see the thing with the Berwick Rangers one, we'll talk about it quickly, right? It's been a topic of the day. So the Berwick Rangers one affected Rangers immensely because Rangers reacted. Well, first of all, the Berwick Rangers goalkeeper was the great Chalk Wallace. So then doesn't know that. It's a wee trivia.
No, myself and David Herder discussed that on one of our podcasts.
Yeah. The other thing about it is because of that game, Rangers reacted and they got rid of our striker.
I was going to say that. I was just about to say that. They're not going to do a top striker.
Jim Forrest was the top goal scorer in Scottish football at the time, I think, or he certainly broke records. And Rangers reacted and blamed Jim Forrest. I can't remember who else. And effectively, Rangers went to a European. As I spoke about before, Rangers have only ever had a striker in one European final.
Yeah.
Of all the ones we played in, because we get rid of Forrest, and I think Roger Hind played, It was well before I was born, but Roger Hine played, who wasn't a centre forward, and he missed a great chance. So these games can change things, but for some crazy reason, Aberdeen are happy with no sacked their manager, so it's all good.
You might not have sacked the manager, but you cannot, if you're a manager worth your salt, surely you resign after that. I mean, you cannot, how can you lead your team forward after abject performance and result like that? It's, for me,
anyway, for a Monday night,
crazy.
How good was that entertainment? I thought it was brilliant.
Well, Mondays are usually quite boy, especially in January, but you've got to.
And the schoolboy in me, see the end of the game in the Friori sheep on the park. I thought that was good. That there was the Darvo fans throwing the sheep on. I thought, right, this is great. Anyway, back to the famous Glasgow Rangers.
Back to the Rangers. So that's
we moved in the comments.
Scottish Cup history was made.
Well, listen, the old rule was the new rule was going to let loose. Read the comments so it gives a chance.
Creativity is something we've been missing in the midfield.
I think we've addressed that.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that's the first thing that Michael Beale addressed, and he knows what he's going to have a different team when he gets to buy his own players.
I think Beale will play with one defensive midfielder instead of two.
I think we should, especially in Scotland. Because
I think it's a case that with that one, we are the people. I would say that horses for courses. 99% of the time, I agree with that. When we're back in Europe, he'll obviously play, if it's great teams, he might play with the two defensive midfielders. Playing against teams like St Mirren at Ibrox or any team in Scottish football, basically, you probably only need the one. So I agree with that. But it's got to be a quality player.
Beale said when Kolak is fit, he will him and Morelos up front.
You'll see him. I spoke about this a few months ago as well with him. I think he will. I think he'll change his formation accordingly.
I think in the home, I keep using these teams as examples, so I don't really mean disrespect by it, but when we're playing the home against Ross County, St Mirren, St Johnstone, why play two defensive midfielders? Like I've never understood that mentality, and because they play with 10 men behind the ball, you have to have the extra forward player if you want to break the teams down. So I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but it's always seemed strange to me why we would play. Sometimes we would play three kind of defensive midfielders. We played Kamara and Jack and Lundstrom.
It makes for negative
and
football.
I'm not saying they're bad players by any means, but it's like they all want to do the same kind of backwards sidey pass, and it's like it's frustrating. And
the downside to that as well, Gordon, is that because of that, it takes us 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes sometimes to get up the park and with an attack. Because every time you go forward, the ball goes back. And then it goes to the keeper, then it goes left, and then it goes right. Was it the horseshoe we were talking about before?
Something I'd like to see is
these should be changed.
Something I'd like to see is not having 11 players in the box when the other team gets a corner.
I say that all the time. Alfredo Morelos, for an example, or maybe Sakala should be in the halfway line. Somebody with a bit of pace. I remember the great Liverpool team. There was a thing he heard a couple of years ago. It was quite interesting. The great Liverpool team of the 80s, they used to have a tactic where they would put a man, usually Kenny Dalglish, on the halfway line for a corner, and if the opposition reacted to that by putting two men to defend them, because obviously there's going to be one right away, if they put two defenders back, so it's their corner, Liverpool's defending it, Liverpool would then send another man up front before the corner was kicked, so there would be two attackers and two defenders. Then what happened was the other team would then throw another defender in, so they'd get 3-2. Liverpool would then send another one up.
I can see where you're going with this.
So what was happening was it was taking out that there was such a threat that the attacking team didn't have much threat because they were terrified that they would go up the park and score. That's all. It's giving teams something to think about. Whereas the old tactic, everybody in the box, you not get ball out and it gets knocked back in. So I don't like that. I agree with that.
David Stewart, sorry.
David Stewart saying Sands played well against PSV, covered for goals in that game.
Totally agree, but at the same time, unfortunately, one good game out of 40. I'm not saying it's Sands' fault, but
overall, he's struggled. That's what we're trying to say.
And it's a shame for him, and I feel sorry for him. But at the end of the day, sometimes you need to treat it like a business. And if we're going to have to spend 2 or 3 million, maybe even 4, on converting James Sands' loan deal to a permanent deal, then we need to spend money somewhere else.
It's just too much money. I think if it was a lot less, you could maybe take the gamble, but if it's him or Tillman, I think every Rangers supporter would.
And if we didn't have defensive midfielders like Jack and Lundstrom at the club already, then I would say maybe go for it. But no.
Anyway, comments. Let's
Good evening, everyone watching. It's your favourite Darlington FC fan back. Hope you're well.
It's been
not my favourite.
We're actually quite big in Darlington, so I don't know.
Not my favourite Darlington fan, but maybe top 5.
It's
Aye.
good to see guys. With a couple of Liverpool fans were watching us a few times as
Yeah,
well.
no, Ian, good to see you watching the show. Tell all the Darlington FC fans about
So
us.
but never mind the 4-0 because it's 5-0 now.
Aye. So,
I've covered this,
Gordon Jeffers, who would you buy? Scottish players? I'll buy Lauren Shanklin at
Shankland,
half
without a doubt.
Well, I heard Nisbet, Millwall have put in an offer of 1 million for Nisbet, and if that is his evaluation, then we should be ready.
That's
for
not
that.
even a gamble. That's not even like I mean,
the
a million.
issue with that is, sorry, but you need to remember that there's teams like Hibs.
Yeah.
These teams would quite happily lose money so they don't sell a player to Rangers. Dundee United done it a few times.
Well,
Even for
that
2 million, I would 100% take Nisbet. I mean,
you've got to realise that you've got to understand that there probably will be a premium for an old firm team buying a player out of a Scottish team because it's a money making exercise. They've got to look after themselves. But I hear what you're saying. Like, you know, if Rangers come in with a 1.5 million and Millwall come in with 1 million, then it's madness to accept Millwall. But however,
There's also the
they
question
may
whether they
get-
want to come to Rangers
they
because
may-
apparently
yeah.
it's a jungle gym. So, and for
Well,
I know he is in
I
fact.
think
So
if you make that kind of money, I don't think that's something that would get in the way.
I don't.
I'm not sure of that. I don't think he would want to come to Rangers. I think the easy decision on it is if it's a
Well,
Lawrence Shanklin.
if you
or-
if you go to Millwall, then I think you should go to Rangers. But
But what I was going to say was if it's either or, if it's him or Shanklin who we would take, and right now Shanklin's hit 20 goals for Hearts. Now when he was every level of football he's played at apart from Belgium, before somebody corrects me because I keep getting hit with this Belgian
Aye.
stat, he's been the top goal scorer. Now somebody came onto my Facebook and said he's only scored 20 goals in Scottish football. So who does Alfredo Morelos score? Where does he score? He scores in Scottish football. Kolak scores in it. That's the league we're in. Right now he's Hearts leading goal scorer, and he's still got plenty of time to hit the 30 mark. So I agree
Yeah.
that Shanklin would be a great signing. Maybe not be a first team player right away, but I don't see how you can lose out on him because some teams go right now. We've not got Roof's 4 or 5 games a season, man. Now, so
well, I think you know Shanklin's a bit of a personality. He's a captain of Hearts as well. He's not going to be
Yeah.
cheap, right?
That
I
comes
think
from
they
underneath.
they'd want a premium for him.
you sit
Okay,
there.
but that said, given the question marks over whether Morelos is staying, definitely the question marks with Roof's fitness. I think this will be Roof's last season at Rangers. Really do. I like Roof a lot. You know, he's chipped in with some amazing goals and hat tricks and whatever, but I think his time might be up. So I give him money to spend, and buying somebody like Laurie Shanklin is a complete no-brainer because even if only if he scores 20 goals, even if he plays 20 games for Rangers next season and he scores 11, 12 goals, even if you just sell him on, you make your money back.
I mean, he's the type of he's Rangers daft, so he's the type of player who want to be there for a long time. He would be a good influence in the dressing room. He would. He understands the leagues he's come up. One of the things about him is how many times do we watch the game, right, where there's 10 men behind the ball, like you said a minute ago, right? There's 10 men behind the ball, and we're saying it's hard to break them down. Sometimes you need to change it for a kind of Morelos and a Kolak, and a guy like that. To me, it's a no-brainer. Hearts would want to sell him, but
I mean, you saw his goal at the weekend in the Edinburgh Derby.
outstanding.
So unique. Like the only goal that I've seen close to that is like when a prime Morelos was scoring against Porto. Like it's a goal that I don't think any of our strikers could pull out of nowhere, but that's
Yeah.
what he can do. And you know,
100%.
maybe if we were to lowball an offer, and that would maybe turn his head because he is a Rangers fan. You know.
So the problem you've got right here is there's this kind of snobbery buying Scottish players out, and the kind of with the Rangers support. A lot of people say you don't want to buy Scottish players, and I get it's not the best of leagues. However, if he goes to England,
You've got
he's
to
never going to be the
because
same value. He's going to be a lot more money if he goes to England.
you've
than
got
Homegrown
to
players.
because we need something like 8
Eight.
out of the squad of 25. There has to
you
be
need so
8
many.
that are what's classes trained and coached in Scotland for at least I think it's either 3 or 5 years. I think
Five.
it's
Also, everyone has done this right. See when the shit hits the fan and it's a real bad game, how many of the shit these guys don't understand the club. And that's a guy that knows all about Rangers. So, in my opinion, guys, let us know your opinions on it, but I would go for Shanklin.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
comments, loads of comments coming in.
Glenn Kamara, another midfielder.
Yeah.
Glenn Kamara, but sorry, we missed out some seen there's loads. I would personally get rid of Kamara. Great value for money, a bargain. However, his head's not in the right place. I don't believe anymore.
I mean, I went on the Rangers website and we have 6 forwards compared to 14 midfielders, which is
That's too many.
quite scary.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good start. There you go.
McCann bought for 750k, sold for 350k, not given much of a chance. We had to get the young players.
That's
playing.
no good
It's
news. I
a
didn't
good
realise
it's
that.
a good point. However, with the potential add-ons and the potential sell-on clauses, etc., it could work out a lot more. If he kicks on and does well down there, and he gets a move to the Championship or even the Premiership for maybe 4 or 5 million, we'll get a good million of that at least, and then we'll get a chance to buy him back as well. So after that as well, so
we're getting all the Irish League scores tonight. So Larner winning 1-0, Kilrain nothing each.
well, that Ian James Barron is just saying a good point
That's
there.
a good point.
There's Forest Green. So I said that these clubs were kind of like comparable to Ross Counties, etc.
Clearly
But
no.
clearly they're even bigger because there's a team like Forest Green, and I think Forest Green might be in League 2 actually, and I might
Yeah,
be wrong with
League
that,
2.
but you know, there's money flowing about in that league as well. So yeah, for them to buy a player for Rangers at 250,000, and clubs like Hearts aren't really spending all that money. Hibs and Hearts aren't spending 250 grand either, even so.
Yeah.
Crazy.
100%. No, good points. Dungan and Swifts are playing. Is that
Scott,
that must be Glentoran? They're
yeah,
playing.
aye.
So just an interesting point. I want to quickly talk about it. Is no want to be big rant about slagging the Rangers board today. We've done all that. We've had our opinions on it. But a couple of months ago, David Graham left his position with Rangers as a PR man.
Yeah.
And word has it he was tight. His hands were tied behind his back. He wasn't allowed to do a proper PR job. And I said at the time he didn't leave. He was sacked. He was asked. It was leave or be asked to leave. He's now the general manager of Linfield. So obviously, hopefully his dad's okay, because I know he's a nice guy. I've met David before, and the guy's a good homesman and things like that. I'd love
Yep.
to like to know he's doing well in life, and I'm glad he's got the Linfield job. But it just shows you that the story that Rangers put out saying that he wanted the quiet life and a farm and all that was just basically corporate technology for he's getting the Dan Mac. And I don't think he was treated very fairly with that, to be fair.
Whether people are looking to the point I was making about Aberdeen, if they put the same amount of energy into Aberdeen games, Rangers games, they might be competing. Yeah, I agree with that.
And do you know what? Hell, Mendham, it's their own fault.
Yeah. I said this in one of my group chats last night about Scott Arfield's. I said Scott Arfield's to blame for the Aberdeen result.
Well, it was because I think it was something like they lost the next 5 games or something after that. It was such a blow for them.
They've won 1 game in 8, and 2 of those games they've tried.
Aye. I might even be less than that, because remember it was from the 23rd. We played Aberdeen the 23rd of December, so possibly. It's probably about 8 games.
Good
aye.
point for David Ainsworth. Can I read that out?
Yeah. Even if we get the 2 players we are hoping to get in this week, I hope we can get a new keeper and a big defender to back from potential injuries. Yeah.
Aye, well, the word is Helander's going to leave in it. That's the chat. But who's going to buy him and what kind of price are we going to get from? John Suter apparently is training now and he's ready. Not ready to play, but he's not far off it. And at the weekend, this Saturday, who's ready to play? Who did they hear in the news today?
I heard Hadji might be back for this.
Hadji, I think it was, might be playing on Saturday at some point. So players are coming back into the team. The defence is finally looking a wee bit more stable, but it could get stronger. And 100% agree if you could get a good goalkeeper. But what good goalkeepers are available in the January transfer window? My answer is I don't know.
Might be a last minute rush in the transfer deadline day to get Helander in. They might phone up and say, give me Helander by midnight.
Aye, you never know. Aye.
So, you never know.
Silence.
Aye.
Silence.
That was, I'll be working all day, so there we go.
I don't need to give money.
I think the
Even worse. Even worse.
I think the priority is not a defender, and I think we've got the goalkeeper. I think the goalkeeper situation won't change till the close season. I think that we've got 2 keepers that can last the pace in Scottish football at least. But
Well, importantly, I want to know what that's Glentoran scored. Is it 10 yet?
Aye.
Moved on a wee bit. We catch up here. They've scored 5 in about 3-4 minutes.
1-0 Southampton.
Alright, 1-0. So
I thought you were going to say 1-0
No.
Glentoran. I was
So
like,
that's Newcastle must be
go
winning.
back to the start.
No, 1-0. Does that mean Newcastle's winning 1-0?
No, it means
Oh,
Southampton.
Southampton's got
Aye.
a 0 beside it.
Yeah, but there's
I
no.
think he might have wrote it. He
Oh.
wrote it. It's normally Newcastle and then Southampton, so I think he means it's Southampton 1-0 up.
We are not very good at communicating the scores on this show to people that message us the shows.
You won't get Shankland unless you pay £2 million and Rangers won't pay that.
That would be a
Why would
steal.
they? Well, I don't get it. Why would they not pay £2 million for Shankland? I don't.
Raymond Hunter's telling us that France going to League 1 rather than League 2. Sorry, I thought that genuinely thought they were
There
Like-
you go.
League 2 there, so that's a little bit, that explains it a little bit more.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff happening in Glasgow today.
Should never get rid of Big Catty. It's a good point, but he's gone. We've spoken about that a million times.
If you're in Glasgow, let us know your situation, because
No, it's 0-0.
what is it? the water supply's out the city centre towards the city centre, and
Right.
mate, one of my mates,
Oh, right,
one
so
of my mates that stays in kind of Bishop Brisnock and the other is a big power cut as well. So lots of stuff happening around Glasgow surrounding area. So let us know if you're all right.
Aye, let us know you're fine and don't vote the SNP. These things won't happen. That's my opinion.
Well,
Right, let's get the calls opened up. We'll do the calls for 10-15 minutes. And once he gives a wee phone. Hold on a minute, I'll just try and swap this round. Lewis is doing a technical on it, don't know what he's actually doing here.
Oh, right,
He's
let
just
me-
teasing us.
Call us.
I can't see because the camera.
There's two up.
Oh, there we go.
There we go, new graphic, look at this, the old style Nokia.
Treat yourself to the phone, say.
Aye. So give us a wee call, we'll put the number on the online as well now, it's 0141.
It's a 0141, that is correct, yes.
I'm not gonna, my memory span goes about 10 seconds or something like that. 0141 523.
I don't think it's
Just waiting,
523.
Lewis put it up there, he's got it there.
There we go.
Hi Gordon, how you doing?
No, no,
I'm fine, Si. How's yourself?
All great, mate, and I'm looking forward to the.
no, it's just a number you put on it.
Okay.
Let me get it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there is it. This one here.
So,
There we go.
Yeah.
please feel free
So,
to.
what's the number I still
Oh,
get?
it's all what's the background.
0141 319 5230.
And if you want to give us a wee call, make sure I've got the volume up if you need it. If he's wanting to give us a wee call, it's a free call, and it costs you about a penny or so.
What's the number against Lewis? Again, Lewis, even?
0141 319 5230.
That's was
Okay,
easier
right.
this show, see when we done it and I was getting bevied and having pints of lager and the whiskey of the month. So much easier. Carol is going to give us a quick call.
Yeah.
Carol, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing great, Si.
Hi, Carl.
Hi, Gordon. Hello, Sandra, if you're still listening. Si, it was George McLean was the other one
Aye, two of them
at the Berwick game.
Yeah. Dandy. Good point. By the way, just quickly on that, Carol, before I forget, I get contacted with a member of the, I was actually having a couple of beers with him in the Bristol, one of the members of the Annan, what's the name of the support, Niff Valley. He's gone over to Melbourne, Australia, and he needs he's got a collection of Rangers autographs and he needs one more to fill it, and it's George McLean, Dandy McLean's autograph, who I believe lives in Melbourne, Australia, but we can't locate him. So if anybody in Australia knows the whereabouts of George McLean and can help us, that would be great. Sorry, Carol, sorry for that, I just didn't remember.
It's alright. It was George McLean. The other thing, Si, I've been watching all the pods this week,
Okay.
and my God, you would think we'd signed Aaron Ramsey again with this boy Cantwell.
Yep.
You know, they're all building up too much. We've got enough gross to get ready at the end of the season. And let's see the guys play first, and if they can keep that, because we've got enough Weetabix in our team.
Aye, I've not actually seen much Shady Boy, I don't want to rubbish him. However,
And not that they have never seen him, but I don't see how anybody can build him up. The guys haven't played a game in a year and a half, I think.
I think, Carol, I think what's happened is with this player is that a few years ago he kind of burst onto the scene.
aye.
And he had a very, very he looked at a very, very promising player. He was linked with a couple
It
of
was
big
£45,000
clubs.
a week he was offered at one
And
point.
I think what's happened is it's maybe went to his head a little bit. He's maybe suffered a little bit, but he's clearly got potential. But I think you're right what you're saying. He's not the player that maybe we think he is right now.
Until he scores a hat-trick against Celtic and Carl's on, you are my Carol.
Oh, I'm going to be dancing. No, but you know, we're still talking about, I've heard that Ryan Kent's a great player again, by the way, because the manager's there.
Aye, well, Ryan Kent's
You know, but
always been
managers can go before the players when you give them a contract.
Aye.
We all know that, didn't we?
I
Managers are easy to move around. You can't have people that go and huff.
So,
And huffs, we need players to play for the jersey,
you're cheering
not
us
just
up,
because
mate.
one manager's there.
Aye.
No, I know, some good point. So what do you think? Do you think we should bring another player in or what? Carol,
Well, I've heard that one for Belgium's quite good, you know, but who knows? Who knows? It depends on the money. Because we've got to watch out for Europe and all, haven't we?
Aye, well,
With the cash, that we can't go on a certain budget.
he played against us in Europe last season, and I can't remember the game that much. With the old Bevy, I can never remember
He
stuff.
played 18 minutes.
well, as far as I know, Bill
Best 18
rated
minutes of
him.
his life.
Bill rated him, I know that, and he didn't play in the first leg, he only played one, so...
But here's a worry for me, right? Is now we've spent a lot of time in this show, online, whatever, talking about Ross Wilson signing players. Okay, now Michael Beale's not been at the club for what, 2 years or a year and a half, 2 years. Now, is this a legacy signing for Gerrard and Wilson, or is he actually a Michael Beale signing? Because we want to make sure that we're not signing Ross Wilson signings anymore. Can we agree on that?
Aye, but...
That's right, I agree with that. He's got to get his own players in, but you can't build a team. You come into a team that's got the players there, you've got to get them going.
Yeah.
Well,
And start replacing players. You can't do it all at once, it's impossible.
I agree with that, Carl. The other thing I was worrying about, and this, we were lucky with this, right? I believe that we do need a couple of players in that midfield very, very quickly, due to the fact that some of our players are out still, and we were getting a wee bit, we were tiring a wee bit in games, and see the last two weeks, we should have got the boy Cantor in then, and I don't know why we delayed, because we nearly lost. That was 2 games in a row we nearly lost. We nearly lost the semi-final. We nearly lost the Kilmarnock game. A few games that there's been quite close to the bone because we've not made the
Aye,
signings.
I know.
And to wait.
The other one I'm kind of worried about is Cholak, because I don't think he looks the part for that sort of game, these sort of games.
Well, his goal scoring record so far seems to prove that wrong.
Aye.
But I don't think.
But he would get injured, right? He didn't score a couple of games before it, but I don't think he suits that system. You know what I mean? He's got to get boys in. He doesn't make a lot of play himself.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that. I think we need to give him a chance with the new system and see how.
Well, you need to give him a chance, but I think he needs somebody to play with him. I don't think he can do it himself up there.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier. It might be Morelos and Kolak up front. They might try that at times and get rid of the two.
Before Morelos goes or whatever happens, because we'll have to do something about strikers. You know, because 17 goals a season for Morelos at his top is not the best for Rangers.
No,
Right, I better go, Si, anyway. I'll see you in March, I think, the beginning of March, when you suddenly get snow at Hadrian's Wall, you know.
I know it's frozen.
Aye. Great call, Carol. Thanks very much for your support. Much
Right.
appreciated. Take
Bye.
care.
We are the people. Bye.
Bye.
Aye. Yes.
No, it's right for anybody that's asking. It's absolutely freezing in Scotland and now. Obviously, we Lily's here, but it's that cold she doesn't get up in the morning and to bite the postman for her. Anyway, comments on that.
He's still calling out. Does he still call twice?
Hey, what did we miss here?
So,
was there anything above that?
just while we're going to go back to comments, just to let you guys know, as we say every week now, we have started our very own e-gaming platform and esports channel.
I'm on it now.
This is how easy it is to join up and take part. So what we're looking for is we're looking for FIFA players. Now, don't get it wrong, I've done a lot of work on with studying and actual real life work as well the last couple of weeks, so I've not been on it as much, but we've got pro clubs for the Xbox and the PlayStation, and we've got our very own Gers TV community forum and esports platform. It's through what's called Discord, and it's just a wee app for keeping in touch with people and setting up games and forums and chat as well. So if you want to get involved on that, Lewis.
In the comments already. I'm well ahead of you.
The
Good
thing about it,
lad.
I need to quickly comment on that,
No,
because I've
let's-
played
let's-
these games for like 30 years. I'm
let's-
Match Day 2, Super Soccer and all that kind of stuff, right?
We have this conversation
Um,
every week.
I know we have it every week, but I need to tell you this story, right? So Brian had got me this PlayStation. Have a go at it, you'll like it. My ex-wife Christine came up to the house the other day and she went, "You alright?" And I went, "No," I said, "I needed a heart attack, but I didn't realise they play the tunes and all that." So I said, "We'll play Celtic the first game," and I'm sitting in the house and I've got a couple of beers, and my blood pressure went right through the roof. I never scored any goals, he never scored any, but we were knocking hell at each other, and I was up to my knees and you name it, and all the songs. And they're playing
I'm not sure you're playing the official version.
I don't know, but they were singing Rule Britannia and stuff like that, and I was getting carried away. And all the players were on it, and I was knocking hell at each other. It was brilliant, right?
Aye.
But then I'm screaming abuse at the television if there's a game on, right? And it too carried away, but so I had to turn that off for a wee breath because I was like, right, I'm going to end up with a heart attack here.
Wait till you get into virtual reality.
I had to start playing some London teams like that. I had to calm down because it was getting
So
very, very passionate, shall we say.
what we're looking to do is we created a couple of pro clubs teams. It's basically just armchair 11-a-sides where you sit in front of your console, maybe a Friday night or Saturday night with a beer or two, put the headset on and you talk to all the other Rangers fans that are part of Gers TV, not on the channel, on the Discord.
So get involved in
And you know, we all pick a position to play. You're probably, remember all the time you were at school, you were stuck in goals and all that, but you're probably a goalkeeper.
Right back.
Right back in the changing
Left
room.
back,
left back at home. The old jokes.
You see, once I'm playing the games, listen, don't knock the old school.
So we're looking for players. So Lewis, I'm pretty sure the link's in the chat now, in the comments box. Okay, so please join our Discord, and we'll post. And what we're looking to do is really get it started. You know, in the next couple of days. So maybe Thursday night, Friday night. Maybe not Saturday night because everyone's busy, but then Sunday as well. So we're looking to get, you know, 11 players, 11 Rangers fans for the Xbox, 11 Rangers fans for the PlayStation. Maybe, you know, lots that can jump on and play. So please click the link and join the Discord server, which is our esports platform.
Yeah. So that's there. So therefore, you guys, we're trying to get people as interactive and involved with stuff as possible. As well as that, just to let you know that we've got the website. I've spoken about it a few times, but you can actually watch the Gers TV live now and any shows that we do on the website www.thegers.tv, and the show comes on live on that.
Aye.
I'm just going to double check that.
One of our friends from the Discord channel, Stephen, he's asking us just what we think
So you can actually see us live on that.
So what we think about Kamara's future at the club.
Finished. I think it's a...
Yeah, I think we're asking maybe signing as well. I think Kamara could be. Kamara's not been the same player since Slavia Prague.
Yeah, that incident, the horrible racism incident and everything else, it went a long way. It didn't seem to help. Anyway, we've got a couple of comments coming in there. We'll just go back a wee bit for a second, Lewis. Everybody's just been on their phones there. I've just been on one of these social media.
Someone's saying they're not allowed to join the Discord. Can you just quickly jump on that?
I didn't miss again, we're not doing it.
Aye, up and down like a lift. There
So
we
just,
go.
well, we'll catch you at the end of the show.
Scott
so
Garrity, I'll get in touch with you, Scott, and I'll send you a message. Okay, so it should just be a case of clicking that link and then it lets you join. But we'll get in touch with you after the show, Scott. Louisville.
Cantwell last played in November, so somebody said he's not played for months.
Aye, well,
That's a few months.
you've always got to wonder. There's a couple of guys were telling me that there was a few players up at Cameron House, you know, agents and all that this morning. Well, source was a guy called Disco Dave, so that's obviously quite reliable. And then there's other players that are down in London getting medicals and all that kind of stuff as well. You never know, it's a bit silly season, but
You hear all that stuff.
right, we'll quickly preview the weekend game for 5 minutes and then maybe call it a wrap if we don't get any more calls.
So quickly the phone number out again if anybody wants to call.
Yeah, it is 0141 319 5230.
Okay. So obviously it's a double header against St Johnstone. We're playing St Johnstone at home. We haven't really been at Ibrox since the Old Firm game, I believe. So I'll be back. It's probably not. You know, it's 4 weeks or so. Obviously, trying to get back a lull with the Scottish Cup, etc. But a lot of away games, and we've come through them unscathed. We're not any worse off points wise with Celtic when people took over, and I think there's a lot more positivity. So it'd be good to get everyone back at Ibrox. I think there's been some good points made by Tavernier, who was saying that, you know, the pitches we played on haven't really led to good performance, and so it'd be good they've got a full week to train.
Yep, no midweek game. First of all, how good is Saturday football?
Yes, it'll be good.
Pleasure to watch the old style
then,
Saturday games.
But then, Simon, I've grown up in that era where it's not really been. I think my first.
Alright, let me change my point. How good is it to be able to get a right good swally and not have to work on Sunday?
True.
Right, that's the point I was trying to make.
Right, okay.
And it lets a lot of fans travel that they can enjoy themselves a wee bit more, because the guys from Northern Ireland and parts of England and the north of Scotland and that, it's a lot of travelling.
Yep.
If it's a Sunday night game.
If you're coming up, down, through, over, or whatever for the game, let us know what you're doing, and you can come on the Gers TV or have a wee chat with the Gers TV guys.
We're planning something for the Cup final weekend on the Friday night. We're going to try and do something for that, but we've not announced that yet. We've not officially got it ready.
Yep, we've got big plans for the Cup final. We can, if you run a sports club or you're part of a sports club and you want to do a wee show with the Gers TV live, give us a message, let us know. We've had a few inquiries about it, so if anybody else wants to get in touch, please do.
Aye, so basically we've got this a few events coming up with that. We've obviously got the charity run as well with the Gillian Sands at Easter, and a couple other projects we're working on, but we're always interested in getting involved with stuff, guys. Just quickly shout out for the phone number one more time if anybody wants to call. It was a late start, we apologise for that.
0141 319 5230.
Lewis, this is us getting Lewis a wee now here.
Yeah.
Did you do your? What did you tell us you were going to do last week?
Yeah, well, yeah. I said that I would have a video ready about the player ratings from last weekend's match.
So let's see it.
So,
What have you got for us, Lewis?
unfortunately, I have had a lot of issues with the passport office and exams, and I have not done it. So, slap on my wrist, and you know.
So we'll get
Why are
it
you
for-
taking exams with the passport office?
So we'll get it for next week. We're going to do so basically a player rating for every game, or every big game.
Yeah. Every big game. So I will just it'll be a video of me speaking over, and
It's under pressure, isn't it?
Oh, aye.
it'll
You can
have-
see there's been a sweat.
I see that.
It'll be a
I
graphic
see
at
the
the
walls.
side that will say the player's rating, and I'll talk about why I've given them that rating. I'll go through every player and every sub that's played, and in-depth detail. So
Steve Alexander's asking that there should be more than one signing. Well, I have it in good authority by Disco Dave that there is rumours abound that there's a whole team of players at Cameron House with their agents
I think there'll be 2 or 3 signings. I think
thrashing out deals as we speak.
that's other guy they were announcing this afternoon. Or they were saying it's they done deal for. Is it Raskin? Nicholas Raskin. I think he will sign, and that'll be tomorrow. I think. it's-
Nicholas asking what?
I will.
What is Nicholas asking?
Oh, you never know. You should never kiss and tell. But I think there'll be another signing, and I hopefully, for my opinion, I hope we go for Lawrence Shankland. Push the boat out and get him. £2 million. Somebody said that too much. I don't know.
No, that's a steal for
Aye.
somebody like Lawrence.
I
I don't.
think
Personally speaking, I don't think they made him captain for a reason. I don't think he'd leave it mid-season. I don't think he would leave mid-season because he's pushing for records and he's pushing for Hearts to get in Europe again. But you've got to,
I would disagree with you there, for the simple reason. I think for any other club in British football, Scottish football more so, sorry, I don't think he would leave because he's got a great chance at a legacy at Hearts. However, this boy is Rangers daft, and when you get a chance to sign for the famous Glasgow Rangers, I don't think he would really care about records.
I think I agree with that, but I think Hearts would the blockers on it until this is summer. I don't think the Hearts
No, I do
fans
think
would
they.
forgive them.
Don't get me wrong. I don't really like Hearts, but I can understand that they don't want to sell their best player. You wouldn't blame them for that. Anything else we got quickly before we forget? Anything else we've got to talk about?
No, we've got some big plans for the cup final. We really, guys, if you're watching at home and you want to get involved with the Gers TV, drop us a message. Anything you want to do, be a match reporter, go to the B team games, women's games, or help with the live show, or run, help run the online esports gaming section or whatever. Help us out with that.
100%, aye.
The website, write articles to the website. Let us know, and we'll be glad to get you on board and help us.
So
Okay.
just some of the platforms that we're on, so people know. So we've got we do Twitter. I don't know who you doing Twitter still.
Yeah.
So we're on Twitter,
One of us.
Facebook page, Facebook group. We've got the Instagram account. We've got YouTube, and we've also got our own website, www.thegers.tv. So we're on plenty of platforms. There's plenty of ways to watch us.
Patreon as well.
We're on Patreon, which you can find on the. We'll put a link to that in a minute, but you can also find that on the website, and we're on Discord with Disco Dave. So-
he's not part of Discord, unfortunately.
Plenty of ways to get involved with us.
Disco Dave is a roving reporter for the JLTV transfers windows show.
It's all about the fans. It's just trying to get Rangers supporters that chance to get their word out, their opinion. You don't have to agree with us. We don't have to agree with you, but it's good to hear different opinions and different viewpoints. Loads of women seem to be watching the show as well. That must be me because I've got the.
I wasn't
Back to Crew Cut.
Really, the demographics has changed since I joined the show, so
Yeah, well,
properly.
that's that. These things happen, people take a lot of pride in that. But I know it's all
Something
good.
went wrong, that's be a patter. try and recode in the patter.
Thanks for all the updates with the football tonight, guys, as well. The scores. If you can share it, that'd be great. A lot of people like to watch the channel and through the night if they're on the night shift or they're on America or Australia.
Shankland may have Santa Claus in his contract.
Shut up.
You
When
never
it's
know.
going for him.
Shut up.
You never know. If Rangers come in for them 100%. Other than that, I think that's us, guys. I don't think there's much more to talk about.
Yeah.
Thank you very much to our sponsor once again, Max, all at the heart of it, for all your products in Northern Ireland, for all your diesel, unleaded, E5, whatever petrol you use.
We may do a wee live show or reaction show before or after the game on Saturday. You never know your luck because it's a 3 o'clock kick off on Saturday, so we get time to prepare for that. So
Well, I left all the equipment in the Loudon, half steaming drunk after the Celtic game, so I'll see if I can find it. But aye, that should be alright. That should be good. If you want to get involved, guys, keep in touch. Let us know. Share, and share. Like, tell 10 about the Gers TV. Thanks to Lewis. Thanks to Gordon. Thanks to you for watching.
And always remember, Simon, we are
the people.